So I'm not angry about the recent debate between Medhi Hasan and that group of rabid conservatives that he wiped the floor with because their ideas are just bigoted, anti-Semitic, and racist and just stupid. Not angry. What's wrong with the way that people on the other side of the spectrum have been handling things is that they don't allow those people's thoughts to get out, to like escape their insane asylum that exists in their cabeza, and they don't allow those people to voice those things so that then others can confront those beliefs. And that's what's been wrong with what's going on. The other side of the spectrum, those rabid maggots that got on Jubilee and said the horrible things that they were saying. They're angry about the woke agenda, which we all know that it's not an agenda. It's simply an attempt for society to make people awake and aware to the lives of others. And the problem is that those people that were on that show are not awake and aware about the lives of others. And quite frankly, they don't care. All they want to do is to create a society in which they are at the top of the pyramid scheme. Like those people, I just put out a video right before this one, in which I was talking about how capitalism is just a pyramid scheme, and that it's meant the same as with all the other stuff that's going on in the United States. All these other systems, they're all pyramid schemes. Okay. And they benefit the very people at the top. It's like white supremacy is a pyramid scheme. The masses who reinforce and do the work of reinforcing white supremacy really don't get that much of a benefit. And that's why you will see people say that they don't have privilege when they do, when maybe the only privilege that they have is that police brutality is something that they will likely not have to encounter, and that they will, in the end, if they're looking for a job, they may find that the person hiring them may consider their skin tone and their worldview, and thus the worldview, something that they feel more comfortable with hiring, right? But they don't see that because they see the economic and what they feel is economic dire conditions that are going on that are keeping them from living the kind of privilege, like financial privilege, that they're looking for. But the problem is that when you do not have these people allow this craziness that's within their mind to be given the light of day, you don't get to confront it. It's why the goal shouldn't be to make more of those folks who were on that Jubilee episode. But and I get that that's not the goal. The problem is that what's happening is like Turning Point USA, Charlie Kirk, because there's a dude on that episode. I made two videos in front of before this one, in which that dude who's pictured in that video that I made, he is a carbon copy of the kind of individual, like his whole laugh, his whole way of self-presentation is very Charlie Kirkish. And you can tell that his algorithm has been soaked in white supremacy, has been soaked in bigotry. He has been convinced by those Yarvin Teal ideas that it's, hey, if white men can't be in control, and then nobody should be in control except a benevolent leader. And that benevolent leader, as I've talked about Yarvin before, they literally believe that will be a white man. And that white men will have their best interest in heart because of the white supremacy, because white supremacy has indoctrinated them into that kind of stupidity that they believe if there's a white guy at the helm of this ship, that guy will look out for us. And so that's the problem with people in politics, is they keep thinking that a politician is going to actually look out for you, when the only person a politician is looking out for right now are the people who are paying them. Whoever is giving the most money is getting their attention. And I don't care who they are, whether they're on the left, the right, the center, the green, in the Green Party, a third party candidate. This same stuff is going on in America. Does that mean that you should hand America over to MAGA, which many people did? Because they thought voting and allowing things to fall apart would create something better? is digging in and doing the hard work that has to be done here in America to make it better, the path forward. And the path forward is to expose what people believe. Get them comfortable. If they got to go on Jubilee in order to voice the stupidity that they think, bring them on Jubilee. Jubilee can platform those people all day. As long as we can get somebody on there who is capable of engaging them, and then it's kind of like with Medhi, Hasan, wiping the floor of them. Because until people see how stupid these ideas are, you're not going to be able to chip away at what their algorithms have been forming. It's why this fight, the fight to just make them be quiet, is not going to work. You have to let them crazy man talk, and let him talk in such a public way, in conjunction with having somebody there who can confront what they're saying, provide a sound and well-argued and fact-driven, data-driven rebuttal in order to help to have people understand. Because because you see that rabid Republicans are watching that. They're going to want to see what was said. They're going to want to understood what the talking points against what their ideas are. And then they're going to want to tool up in order to be able to confront what sane human beings would be saying. And unfortunately, although we want the easiest path forward with dealing with these folks, you're not going to get rid of this ideology. Because what the fight is for the future, I've done a myriad of videos. I think I'm on my 12th one, just little clips of helping people to understand you are in charge of defining the future. Okay. And if you want to define your reality, you better get to work, because there are people who have been waging slow rolling coups that are almost silent. And they've been funding this ultra conservative, rabidly anti-Semitic and racist candidates and ideologies. And they feel that this now is the moment in which they are going to achieve a 100-year to 150-year sprint, in which they will control reality. And if you're not working to control, because that's the problem that people don't understand. They think that, well, I'm just going to vote for president and I'll vote third party as my babes. If you understand how things work, you understand why your efforts are failing, because a lot of people voted to allow America to crumble. They refuse to participate. And I understand your arguments and I understand where you're coming from, but all that did was to create what you're saying now. And in order to combat this, if there is another election, if there is the ability to stop, because what you're looking at now is a failing federal government, which was the plan. I talked about this way before that election, and I was telling you all that we had the opportunity to try to stop and prevent what was coming. But if people allowed it to come, and I was reaching in my far-seeing bag, and I was telling you, like, America's going to be broken up eventually if we keep going. It's because what people are going to begin to feel, because one, they don't want to educate themselves. Two, they don't understand what's going on. All they know is that American government isn't doing anything. And so then, but that's exactly what they wanted to happen. They want people to feel that a government does nothing, so that the government can then be dismantled. And what they want is for the rich to be in charge. They want what people are being lied to accept, which is a benevolent white male leader. The problem is that ain't gonna happen. And if rabid Republicans took like 6 seconds, rabid conservatives, because the ones that we saw on that show, the anti-Semitic Yazis and fascists, the Nazis, those people, if they took 2 seconds to just understand history, what they would realize is that it's like trickle-down economics. These folks aren't going to be benevolent leaders. They're not going to be benevolent kings. I don't care if you call them, you don't call what Teal and Yarvin are trying to create, and they don't want to, which is ruled by corporations. Uh, Corporations in no way are going to run themselves in a way that is benevolent. It's for the top, the board. It's for the stockholders. They exist to enrich them. So the masses, yeah, they